The boat has 3 main inflation points. One on each side. One here. One on the other side. Here. And then one in the floor. Right here. Okay? Quite simple. They all need to be filled up to 3.5 psi. There is an adapter, and this is the adapter. This adapter allows the pump itself, the hose, to be adapted to the size of the valve. So we're going to put that on, and then when we pump the boat up, the adapter fits into the valve quite nicely. So I'm going to show you here how that works. We'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, and you'll see here, this just fits straight in, just like that. Now, we'll complete the pumping of the floor here to 3.5 psi. We'll just back off. And here we go. And now we're inflated. So that's the floor. Next, the sides of the boat. Okay, so we've got the sides inflated. Now, the floor has a release valve. The sides don't have a release valve, so you need to use the pressure gauge on the pump to pump it up to 3.5 psi. Once you're done inflating the boat, you put on the caps that go over the valves. So you can see it hanging there by its string. You just take it and you rotate it on. Okay, it lines up here. Push it down firmly and you rotate it on. That keeps sand and other debris out of the valves. Okay, so you do that, and then you can start inflating the top deck section of the boat and your seats. So let's put those valve covers on, and we'll come back and fill up the seats in the deck. Okay, so we've put the valve covers on, and now we're going to fill up the deck itself. So there's 3 ports here. One in the cockpit, the bow cockpit. There's one in the stern cockpit, and then there is one just underneath the rear deck hatch right here. Okay, and we're going to fill these up to 3.5 psi as well. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back when we're done. Okay, so I've now filled the deck inflation areas. One thing you do need to do is change the adapter on the pump hose to this narrow adapter. Okay, so inflating the seat is quite simple. We're just going to take the adapter here and we're going to put it into the valve port on the seat, and we're going to pump it up to 3.5 psi. One of the easiest thing to do is pull this hose out and cover this with your finger, and then put the plug in place. Really simple. So you just pop this in. Okay, now what we're going to do is actually push the seat down into place. Okay, this is quite simple. You just push from the center here and push it down. And then push the seat down here. So there you go. Okay. Okay, next step here, we're going to put the rudder in place. So let's go to the back and we'll look at where the rudder goes. So the rudder attaches to the stern here in these two spots. Okay, so the rudder is a seal line smart track control system, and the attachment is easy. This piece comes out, and we're going to take that and just attach it to the back like so. Okay, this goes back down. Like so, and the rudder is now in place. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the control lines. We've got 3 lines. You've got one line to move the rudder up and down, okay? And we can put that on now. We'll run it through here, this hole. We're going to put this in the center here. We're going to rotate the cord, and then it just simply, and I'll bring the camera over here to the other side. And I'll zoom in. And the cord just simply attaches like that. Okay? Simple. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the control lines to the rudder itself. So each of the control lines has a small clevis pin. Let's see if I can show you that. Here it is. And you undo the clevis pin and attach it to each side. So there's 2 of these. So we're going to attach that. Okay, we'll take the other side, do the same thing. And these are made out of stainless steel, so they won't be affected too much by corrosion, but it's a good idea to rinse everything off when you're done paddling on whatever trip you're on. Okay, so there we are. We have the control system set up. Okay, with the control system set up, we'll go back and look at where those lines go to. The rudder is actually, you can pull it in and out of the water by this attachment here. There's 2 positions for it. One is down, which is the current position, and there's an up position. So we're going to move this from the down position to the up position. We can now see that the rudder is in the up position. Okay. Okay. Our other 2 lines are to control the left and right position of the rudder, and those are actually controlled by a couple of foot braces on the inside of the rear cockpit, and they're just adjusted by ladder locks and allow you to set up your foot position. There's also a set of these in the front, and they're adjustable, but they don't control anything. Okay, we're now looking at the fully inflated and assembled Seeker 2 kayak. The inflation and assembly time, when you get good, takes about 15 minutes. So it's very quick to set up and get going. As you might guess, disassembly of the boat is exactly the opposite of the setup. So first things first, we take off the rudder, and we tie up the cords so they're nice and neat. Okay, the next part is quite simple. We're going to take the valve covers off. And then we're going to take and rotate the valve clockwise. And I actually normally do the floor first, so I'll do that next. And I'll do the other side. So deflation is quite simple. Now to pack the boat up, it's also quite simple, but you do have to fold the front and back deck, the bow and stern over, and I'll just show how that's done. Okay, this is quite simple. We're just going to take the bow, grab it, fold it over, and just give it a little turn. Got it. Fold and turn. And then we fold the boat up to the coaming. Got it. Okay. Same thing happens with the bow. We're going to fold the boat up to the front of the coaming on the front deck. Okay, now that we've folded the bow and stern, all we have to do is actually fold the boat in half, and we'll put the straps on. Okay, and here it is, all strapped up in its bag, so quite straightforward. The boat also contains a small kit of items. There's the 2 valve adapters. Okay, those adapt your hose to the size that the valves need. There are 2 spare plugs for the deck portion of the inflatable pillows on the deck and the seats, and it comes with a small repair kit right here. All of this goes in the red box that you'll find in the kayak, or with the kayak. Okay, and here's the boat collapsed with everything that comes with it. We have our 2 spray decks on the left, the small kit that has the valve adapters, the spare plugs and repair kit. We have the pump with pressure gauge. We have the rudder and 2 take apart paddles.